Good morning, pregame crew. How are y'all? It's Monday, January 30th, 2023, 8:22 a.m. Eastern, 6:22 a.m. Mountain Time. You're at the pregame show. I will officially get started in 8 minutes, but between now and then, I am going to take some chart requests, say hello to my friends, and do an audio-visual check. Perfect night truck, thank you, thank you. Hello, good morning, Wave, Red Moon, B-Hawk. Green Eggs and Cam, Lori, Nugget, Greg, Mighty Pawns. Oh, Lori, it's Nugget Week. FOMC, don't forget. George, Topher, Train Man, Carlos. Hi, hey Keggers, how have you been? Paul, Matthew, Andre, Homebody, Mary, Norma, Sir Fernando, Chris, Guile, Patrick. Thanks, Wave. Hey, Basque. Yep, Lucid is a queen of the mountain trade for me. Good morning, Keith and Sankit. I hope you're having a fabulous morning and that whomever won yesterday was your team, the Eagles, and I know who it wasn't. It wasn't the Bengals and it wasn't the 49ers. The Chiefs and the Eagles, that's who it was. It took me a little bit. I stayed up late last night to finish the game and I am a little tired this morning, but I'm energetic about the market, that's for sure. Microsoft is weak this morning. Mary, the spike happens at 7 a.m. Central Time. That's when the broker platforms open. So you see a little like fat fingered things that may be going off. So it's at the time that brokers open. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the top. LTC, sure. I'm assuming it's weak like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Yes. Hourly bear flag. Trapped under the Great Wall of Louisiana, i.e. the hourly 50 MA and the EMAs. That's a pretty textbook bear flag. Let's look at it on the 4 hour. 4 hour, we haven't done a ton of damage, meaning we're still in an uptrend here. Oh, I gotta change the color of my pen. Try one more time. So we're still in a 4 hour uptrend, but now the pullback was so great, the bears will be looking to top fish a 4 hour lower high against 97.77. Hope that makes sense. You have support right here of 91.09. It looks like we grazed oversold, but we didn't get there on the hourly chart. Daily, you don't have a major problem yet, but again, that 4 hour lower high is still the more likely scenario. If you're in a long, if you're in a long swing, you could say, as long as these EMAs stay below the 4 hour, I will stay in long. You could try that. I just don't know that I'd want to sit through any more consolidation. Okay, LTC. Boot. What's Boot Barn doing? I was just looking at liquidity because it had gaps on it. I didn't know what that was about, but the liquidity's decent. Potential 4 hour bull flag. It's hard to judge where we're opening because it doesn't have after hours volume. So 83.69 becomes your key level. You want to see it hold the low of Friday. And bulls want to see it break the high of Friday, 88.62. But the first test will be 83.69. See, how do I want to do this? Yep, that's right. As long as it's above 81.12, it could be a 4 hour bull flag off of that earnings positive reaction. First 5 minute oversold. Did you get there on Friday? No. That may provide an opportunity for a scalp long. All right. And I will go over Lucid. Yeah, TSM. I've been doing Chat GPT and it is wonderful. I absolutely love it. I actually asked it yesterday, what technology companies have the lowest PE ratios. And of course, it's not completely updated, but interestingly enough, TSM was one of the names with a low PE ratio. So I think we can look at that somewhere here. Not sure. They have so much data on TradingView now. It's pretty cool. Okay, let me get back to the chart. I'm like, ooh, look, a squirrel. Daily is healthy. We're holding the 8 EMA. Your key support will be, well, your first support will be the low of Friday, 92.24. Your key support will be 91.12. You don't want to see that lost. Getting really tight on the 4 hour. I like this chart actually. This is some major compression. See the squeeze here? The market, of course, is opening red, so it's not the best day for TSM to get the next leg up, but it doesn't mean it's not possible. Yeah, I saw that GPT, the data goes through 2021. So it even had Albertsons listed as a private company when I was researching, so I knew it wasn't completely updated. Hey, Bobo and Brian and Simeon. Okay, XLU. And then I will most likely get started with the day. We don't have any major data today, but we do have major data the rest of the week. And we have, I should have pulled down this economic calendar. We'll take a look at that. Let me look at XLU first. It's a daily EQ, but make it ugly is pretty much what is happening. Your high is 69.92 and your last high or low 67.96. This is not cute. Weekly downtrend, daily downtrend, 4 hour struggling. On red days, XLU is can be, not always, can be a safe haven because those are primarily the dividend stocks, and those are where people who are dumping stocks where they run to is the safe haven of XLU. So it could have a good day despite market weakness. Your resistance to high of Friday, 69.19, support 68.47. You have a nice hourly uptrend. If you get another tiny higher high without a lot of follow through, I'd zoom out and look for a potential rising wedge. Definitely giving rising wedge vibes. You made it, Carlos. Awesome. You know what? Y'all are so funny. Brian P., you can adjust the settings with the gear icon in the bottom right corner, and you can increase it to 1080p, the resolution. A BZFD is on my list. All right, let's get this show on the road. Good morning. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community. If you want to give me a follow on Twitter, at Chart Gal Lori, I would greatly appreciate it. What I do here every morning is I cover, my notes are on another screen, by the way, and I have those nice notes typed up, and I give those to TCG members when I'm done with the show. And I also show you this table every morning, and as you probably could have guessed, we are good and bright red and heavy on the bear side this morning on my med list. I call it my market environment dossier. And the way I think of it is like dossier, you only keep relevant information and you let go of the rest. Like this is where you collect relevant information. So not every day are things really screaming and super important. Like Hang Seng and DAX, sometimes it's just flat. It doesn't provide us any edge. Hang Seng is down pretty big overnight, 2.73%. So it's more important now. So I would be looking at those China stocks to potentially short. So I show you this. I have the notes. I go over indices, commodities, crypto movers and shakers of the day. And I want to stop and do the economic calendar. So starting tomorrow, so these are all the 2 and 3 star events. If you look at investing.com, 2-star moderate volatility expected, 3-star high volatility expected. So we got a lot going on. And if that wasn't enough, this is the Super Bowl of earnings week. We have the Super Bowl of earnings week 4 times a year, And it is basically, let me show you. It is basically all the large, very large tech companies, Amazon, Alphabet, Apple. Wednesday, we have Meta. AMD. We've got a lot of big names, Caterpillar. It gets no bigger than this week of earnings. And if that wasn't enough, we have FOMC on Wednesday. So we have ADP non-farm payrolls on Wednesday. That's big. We have ISM manufacturing PMI, which is 3 stars at 10 a.m. That's 30 minutes after market opens. And JOLTS, which FOMC quotes often. That's a very important piece of data for their inflation measurement. We have the Fed decision on Wednesday and the Fed press conference. We have non-farm productivity on Thursday with jobless claims. We have non-farm payrolls on Friday. Does it get any bigger? If you're an inconsistently profitable trader and you want to really kill it this week, this is the week to pump the brakes. With the fundamental issues of the economic data coupled with the earnings data, this is a week to wreck you, absolutely wreck you. It's not the week to initiate large swings, maybe small swings, but definitely not large swing positions. In my opinion, it's a tough week. So just keep that in mind. And before I forget, I just want to show you tomorrow, Dan is doing a TCG open house. So every morning from 7 a.m., well, I got to do it in Eastern time, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. We have a chart guy or gal that does the market open 30 minutes before open, and then the first hour the market's open, they go over what they're watching, indices, kind of like what I do, but in a more detailed way. And then you can ask for chart requests. So that we'll open that to the public tomorrow. We do this once a month where we open it up to the public so you can see how the sausage is made. So if you're interested in that link, it's pinned here in the chat at the top. If you want to check that out tomorrow after the pregame show, of course, Dan will be live, and it's always awesome to listen and learn from Charting Man Dan. All right, now let's get to the indices. Potential 30-minute bear flag. Potential hourly bear flag. We got a higher high. We broke the high of the prior candle, I should say. We didn't get a higher high. We broke the high of the prior candle. But with a bear flag, that happens often, and then you could just still look above and fail and still reverse to the downside. 4 hour is giving me the most clarity. And when I look at my Fab 4 indices, which are ES, NQ, RTY, and YM, I'm looking at those 4 and saying, where's the divergence? What's going on here? Divergence for me is in NASDAQ. NASDAQ has a 4 hour uptrend that's intact, totally intact. ES lost a 4 hour uptrend. RTY lost a 4 hour uptrend. YM lost a 4 hour uptrend. And no, that's a decent pivot. I'm not going to argue with myself. So we have 4 hour downtrends on our major indices except NASDAQ. Well, market bull, if you wanted to see one index hold up, it would be NASDAQ. So that's slight bull divergence as we go into the morning. 1 second. All right. The dollar. Bear divergence here is, why is the market not taking advantage of continued Dixie weakness? The dollar is weak. It's attempting to do a little Adam and Eve bullish reversal pattern here. We have a double top at 101.89. But we've had major weakness overnight. It's red. Well, I shouldn't say major, but we couldn't sustain any 15-minute uptrend yet, and the market's still down. That doesn't bode well for market bulls. And so you see here, I have it highlighted, big disconnect. And that is bearish divergence. And VIX is a little glimmer of hope. Wait, let me stay on the dollar. Y'all, I'm trying to be more linear. It's hard. You just start seeing ping pong and you get yourself all turned around. So the dollar is still in a 4 hour downtrend, super weak. We look at it on the daily. We're not oversold yet. Weekly, we're not oversold. Could FOMC or any of these economic data points finally bring Dixie to dollar and or weekly oversold conditions, and then dollar could possibly get a bounce? That's what a market bull is looking at. We sold off a little heavy at the end of day Friday. Little surprised, actually. It's very common for people who are in winning positions. Like if you were in futures on ES, last Friday and you're going into the end of the day and you're like, man, I'm going to take this off before the weekend. I got some great gains. And that's normal, but not this type of volume. That was just a little strange for me, and a slight heads up to, hey, be careful, de-risk where you can going into the weekend. Everyone realizes this week, the upcoming week being this week, is a major market mover, FOMC in particular, and the earnings. So the dollar, in my opinion, needs to find a bottom for the market bears to really make a statement. I'm going to copy from my notes over here, because I can't say it any more succinctly. As y'all already know, I have a problem being succinct. So if I typed it out, and maybe this will help us. Day will start with back burners on the menu. That's what's on the menu this morning, back burners. First hourly oversold should provide a great opportunity to scout being the key word, daily higher lows. However, the last half of the day, we shift our focus to reverse back burners, scouting lower highs due to the size of these pullbacks. Does that make sense? If that doesn't make sense, tell me and I will say it again. I will go over this. This is super important. If you're a TCG member, you should be very familiar with back burner and reverse back burner concept, using RSI as a place to go hunting. It's a fishing hole. It doesn't mean you're going to catch anything. That's where you go hunting for those daily higher lows when hourly is oversold. So we have plenty of room for a daily higher low compared to 396325. So hourly oversold, where would that be? That would be around 403450. Do y'all see that little light a beige label over here, 4034.50? That is the area where we would be hourly oversold and where bulls could begin to scout a daily higher low. But scout is the key word. It doesn't mean you're going to find it. It says that's where you scout. And what you do is you go to lower time frames and you say, okay, we've got a 5-minute uptrend. This could be the area where we get our daily higher low, but we didn't hit hourly oversold, so we may not be done. I don't like this pattern on the 30-minute or hourly, so I'm not in the mindset to buy yet. Not yet. And then bears are going to be waiting for 5-minute overbought conditions, which we're kind of getting close, overbought conditions to look for shorts. And that's the reverse back burner. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome. And someone had a Tesla question early on, green eggs and cam. So I need to be sure and answer that. He or she took the time to type all that out. So I'm still bearish this morning despite this little tiny uptrend, just overall due to larger patterns and what I see going on with some of the major indices like semiconductors who have already lost their low from Friday. Okay, so ES, our key levels, 40.40, the low of overnight, and y'all, 41.0925, meaning on any bounce, there's a 90% chance we get an hourly and a 4-hour lower high. Those are large probabilities. That's an extra edge. Those are the edges you don't get in Vegas. You don't get those type of edges. That's a big edge. So on the next bounce, first 15-minute overbought could be a good area to look for those top fishes. Until then, I stay in a back burner mindset. Hunting, fishing, loving every day. Luke Bryan, gotta love him. Okay. Next is NASDAQ. I mentioned NASDAQ is still in a 4-hour uptrend. However, it does have a potential hourly bear flag right under the 50 MA. It's just a classic bear flag. It's a little big. Oh well, you get the picture. Potential bear flag. So even though NASDAQ is holding up the best on the 4-hour, it's the only one maintaining the uptrend, it is still weak and the hourly does not look constructive at all. So what does that mean? That means if I'm going to look for top fishes, I'm not going to top fish NASDAQ. I'm not going to look for the top fish here because it's the strongest of the 4. I want to go pick on the scrawny kid in the playground. ES, RTY. So of those three, RTY is the weakest. So that's the one to pick on for the next potential 4-hour lower high, looking for first 15-minute overbought conditions to short RTY. Is all of this going to come to fruition the minute the market opens? No. This is a process. I'm laying out a process that could happen over 2 days at least. And a lot of times we get a hurry up and wait before big data. So we could have some choppy action today and tomorrow. Stay agile. Stay on the balls of your, when you're staying agile, don't rest on the balls of your feet. Yeah, that's it. Okay, maybe no more analogies for the rest of the day. You think I can do it? RTY, your key level, 1897.50. Resistance, 1927.20. Again, potential bear flag. YM, potential bear flag. Lost the 4-hour uptrend. Potential hourly bear flag. Lost the 4-hour uptrend. I was just looking at something. Sorry. I didn't notice this earlier. We're getting higher highs and lower lows without follow through, but this lower low got follow through, so that negates potential broadening formation. It didn't hit me earlier. Now this could be a broadening formation here. Sorry, y'all. Lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Yeah, that could be a broadening formation. Let's see if the bulls can do some defense this morning. ES is not a broadening formation. RTY maybe. Okay, on VIX, we're looking for a 4-hour lower high. That's good for market bulls. If we can put that 4-hour lower high in this area compared to 2090, that would be good for market bulls. We were up 9% earlier. We're really pulling back more than I would have thought. And that's helping ES bounce. All right, US 10-year still has this daily inverse head and shoulders. It actually is a little bit clearer on the 12-hour. Trying to put in a local bottom, that is bad for NASDAQ if that plays out. And I just want to remind you, inflation is terrible. All of the data that we've been receiving, there's been very little glimmers of hope in the data. So Wednesday, everyone is watching Powell and saying, okay, are they going to signal at all that they're slowing down the interest rate hikes? And if they lean hawkish, this could be a pretty red week. If you go back and watch my video with Dale Pinkert, I did December 28th, I believe. I shared it on my Twitter account if you're interested in that video. I went over all the reasons I was still looking bullish for the month of January. I went over it all of it. And it came to fruition, all of those setups. Well, now it's shifting. The dollar has, bonds has the 12-hour head and shoulders. US 10-year has an inverse head and shoulders. Dollar is approaching daily and weekly oversold. So this could be the area for the market to stall. I'm not calling tops here. I'm just trying to prepare you for all scenarios. Again, I mentioned Hang Seng was down 2.73%. My chart wicks are not black. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the link below in the video description to receive a PDF explanation as to how Lori sets up her chart, and we have a YouTube video. Okay. DAX is red currently. Bitcoin really pulling back hard. 4-hour. Let's see. 948. Yeah, 4-hour held support. Bears are going to be looking for a 4-hour lower high on the next bounce. Ethereum. Ethereum, same thing, holding the 4-hour uptrend. Bears will be looking for a 4-hour lower high on the next bounce. Do we get a bear flag? And that looks like what's happening here. Bitcoin, it was a little more clear. Yeah. Bitcoin, we're creating, we're forming our third 30-minute inside bar. Going sideways here, but bears are waiting for bounces to short. Reverse back burner. We got a little bull divergence right here to be aware of, where RSI made a higher low and price made a lower low. A little bull divergence. The safer play is to wait for first 5 or 15 minute overbought, looking for top fish opportunities. Yeah, hit the like button, please. There are almost 400 of you on here. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Okay. Did Ethereum, what time frame did I see that bullish divergence? 30 minute. Not as clear on Ethereum for sure. So 4-hour uptrends are held with Ethereum, Bitcoin, and NASDAQ. And the other 3 major indices lost their 4-hour uptrends, meaning weekly consolidation is underway. Gold. Gold is trying to take advantage of the dollar's weakness overnight. This looked like a megaphone earlier to me. I didn't type it out in commodities because it just didn't have that third top. If we fell at 1946.60, here's the potential scenarios for gold. We have a lower low, higher high, lower low, and then we EQ out over here. That's a diamond pattern. That's a potential diamond bearish reversal pattern, which makes sense if the dollar is trying to bottom here. If we break 1946.60 and make a tiny higher high, then that could be a broadening formation. Overall, I would feel more comfortable top fishing the 30-minute lower high right here, right now, than I would be a bull. Just makes more sense. Oil, super weak. Wow. Couldn't even hold the support. Oh, and XLE, XLF, XLV, they look terrible. Here, here, here. And Microsoft looks horrible. So just more data for the bear scenario. So this just oil chart just reminded me how bearish XLE looked earlier. Okay, so let's get our bearings here. We have lost that daily EQ has broken bear, and we've lost a support of 78.45. Y'all, I think we're going to get, I'm not going to use trend lines because it won't be as clear. We have a potential rising wedge on oil. I'm trying to just think through trade setups when I'm looking at this. On what time frame could I give you a setup for a potential strategy for you to trade? Because I don't want to sit here and just give you technical analysis. I want to give you strategies that you can deploy and make profitable trades. So the next bounce, you could look for a potential 4-hour lower high. So I would just stick with reverse back burners on oil. First 5 and 15 minute oversold. Those are going to be shorting opportunities until the bulls can prove something. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading the comments. We have a double top on Nat Gas. Nat Gas was down over 7% last night when it opened, getting obliterated even more. Daily's oversold, weekly's oversold, 4-hour no longer oversold, potential 4-hour bear flag. And here is how I am kind of breaking down Nat Gas time frame, frame by frame. This gap up here, not all gaps have to be filled. Gaps can act and serve as a magnet, but there's no law, no universal law that says gaps have to be filled. You have a gap up here at 2852. It would not shock me in the least for bulls to fill that gap. Am I calling for a 15-cent absolute move on Nat Gas? No, it wouldn't surprise me. Bulls have made enough room for an hourly higher low. Let's see what they can do. They got stuck here at this double top at 2745, but I'm watching for a potential hourly higher low, and let's see if they can fill that gap. It is a long idea only for the most experienced commodities trader that's in the sound of the reach of my voice. If you're inconsistently profitable, stay away from the Widowmaker, in my opinion. Apple. Yet reverse back burner is first 15 minute overbought. If I said it wrong, I am sorry, because it's hard to keep flipping back and forth. Hey, Mary, congratulations. All right, Apple. And I know this is a lot of lines. My goal is not to make your eyes cross. My goal is to show you where we are at 144.92. from the low of Friday to the high of Friday. Now I'm going to go in on a lower time frame. At 144.92, we are right here at about a 55% retrace of Friday's high. Right answers only. What is the most likely scenario for Apple today with it opening up in the middle of Friday's range? Which that's what it is right now. What's the more likely scenario for Apple? What would the daily candle today? What is the most likely daily candle to occur today? You're welcome. You're welcome, Serena. So I'm going to wait to get the answer. One more time, I'll ask the question. With Friday's very large range on Apple, and we're opening up in the middle of that range, what is the most likely scenario? Yep, you got it. Inside bar wave. A daily inside bar is the most likely scenario because we're not opening up near the low. We're not opening up near the high. Now, could we open and it become a Walmart, fall apart, and take out 143? Absolutely. And we could have, a major down day. Odds favor with us opening up in the middle of a very large range that we could have an inside bar. And that means look for early misdirection, meaning you think it's breaking bull, then it goes bear, and then you think it's breaking bear, and then it goes bull. Because misdirection happens when volume dries up on inside bar days. People step away and say, okay, I'm going to wait to see who wins this battle, bulls or bears. That lower liquidity causes that misdirection, which I like to call the drunk girl walking home from the bar in high heels. She's going up and she's going down and she's just very erratic. Price becomes erratic. Yep, inside bar, inside bar. Paul, you're not wrong. Let's see. A 4-hour lower high is the more likely scenario. An hourly lower high is the more likely scenario. Absolutely. You are not wrong about that. I was speaking more about the daily bar. What's the most probable outcome of today's candle on Apple with it opening up near the 50% retrace? Good morning. There you go, Jorge. There you go, Robert, Andre, Rob. Awesome. Okay. Amazon. Y'all ready to play this game again? I won't make y'all say it again. But 101.59. Where are we? 101.53 is the 50% retrace from the low of Friday. If I drew that correctly. No, I didn't. I saw it was off just a little. There you go. 101.51 is the 50% retrace from the low of Friday to the high of Friday of this big move on Amazon. We're opening up at the 50% retrace. So an inside bar is the more likely scenario, not guaranteed, but it's the more likely scenario. So keep that in mind when the market opens, looking for those potential misdirection, and sit on your hands, watch those market internals, and find out who's telling a lie, who's telling the truth, and who's telling a lie. You're constantly looking for divergences that don't add up. All right, Nvidia. Let me make sure I got that one right. Yep. From the low of Friday to the high of Friday, $200.17 is the 50% retrace. We're a little bit more below that than we are on Apple and Amazon. Nvidia had some bearish news come out overnight that they sold chips illegally to the Chinese nuclear, whatever, this large entity. I don't know if they're going to get in trouble or whatever, but that could be a bearish overhang. So just know that. So it's down almost 2%. It could still have an inside bar as well. I'm just not as convinced on that, or the probability is just a little less. Now, this little lady, 4 hour, oh gosh, I've been talking forever and I'm not even through my 4 regulars. Potential 4 hour bull flag. What keeps a bull flag alive? Holds of 173.23, and ain't that cute? That's exactly where it hit. And after hours, that 0.382 keeps a bull flag alive. Tesla's gamma squeeze on Friday was something to behold. And I'm just going to cover this real quickly because I'm running long today. A gamma squeeze is when market makers have to sell to open because you have a lot of people buying to open options, calls in this case, calls above the current price. So if the price was, let's say right here, 168 was the high of this candle, then I was seeing large 170, 175 calls coming in, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars. So when the market makers sell those calls to the buyer, they have to go then buy the underlying. When they buy the underlying, it creates an inherent squeeze. And that's what we saw Friday, was a gamma squeeze. And I said it about, I would say somewhere in here is where I let everyone know, hey, this is a gamma squeeze going on, bears. Don't get too cocky trying to top fish this, because you're going to get ran over. And they meant business. And if y'all remember back in October 2021, there was like an 8-week period where we had the Monday gamma squeeze Tesla dude or girl, where they would squeeze Tesla on Monday. So today's Monday. That phenomenon has not happened in over a year. So I'm not saying it's going to happen today, but I will be watching Tesla flow early on to see if they're trying to squeeze it again. This is a beautiful 4-hour bull flag. This will be one of the prettier charts you look at today. All right. MARA. So Bitcoin was weak overnight. MARA is one of those names that you can play those key levels. It likes to respect those technical levels. The high right here is 887, that intraday high from Thursday, 887. Where did MARA reject? 886. Y'all, this was Queen of the Mountain trade Friday morning. I hope you got it. I circled this. I said that's the level to potentially play along. If it breaks below 850, you're wrong. And this is the area to play a short. If it breaks above, you're wrong. Well, if you took that short, you were right and you made bank. So this is a game I like to play. I like to call Frogger, where you're basically going from level to level with Mara. You're just going across the street. So you could try. I don't know that I'd try along on MARA. I'm more comfortable being a bear on it. So I want to top fish bounces into key levels. So 790, that's a level I could get in front of and say, okay, I'm going to look at a potential short there. So mark off your key levels on MARA. It likes to play by the rules a lot, has major volatility, only for experienced traders. Okay, so I did not put the tickers in the right order this morning. So Baidu had some news. They are releasing this AI bot. And so even though Hang Seng was down 2.73%, Baidu is pretty strong. You could look for first 5-minute oversold for a long on Baidu. BZFD. Again, I got really frustrated with my list this morning. It's gotten so long, I need to clean it up. Okay, here are your key levels on BZFD. This is the ChatGPT AI name that got some buzz last week. BuzzFeed. So here are your fibs. If you want to take a screenshot of this, this is how I would play BuzzFeed. I would watch these key levels and I would be more comfortable getting along on BuzzFeed ahead of these levels, or like right in front of the level. So I have somewhat of a support to play off, whether it's synthetic or real. Like 333 is a real price support. 312 is a synthetic fib, a synthetic support. So if you look here, you see these orange triangles there? That is first 5-minute oversold. I'm watching for that on BZFD. Okay, now look at 15-minute. See that orange triangle? Yep, it's there too. Hourly? Yep, it's there too. I am ready for all oversold bounces on BZFD to scout potential scalps. Okay, next one, Lucid. Lucid had major news. Well, it was a rumor that they could get bought out. It had a pretty fun squeeze on it. So I'm watching these levels for a potential long on Lucid. So again, MARA short, Baidu long, BZFD I'm only looking long, Lucid I'm only looking long. Mara I'm looking short. SMH has a potential megaphone. I'm trying to get through this because I know Dan is live. And don't forget the open house tomorrow. So we have a little megaphone going on with SMH. It broke through the low of Friday, and it's not getting a lot of follow through. So we'll see if they can hold this tiny lower low and then resume higher. The market needs SMH in order to get a sustained bounce, they need semis to play along, because XLF is not playing along. Super weak in pre-market, XLE and XLV. All right, that's it. I can't even take any requests. I'm so sorry I went long, but I hope it helped someone. If it did, hit the like button. Give me a follow on Twitter at CharcalLori. And TCGers, I'll see you in the room. I'll copy these notes over in a jiffy.